You girls ever dreamed of being a model in a magazine? Have you boys ever dreamed of dating a model from a magazine? You might want to think again. The magazines that are sold worldwide and across America for adults and girls are sending the wrong message to these girls. The magazines that these little girls are reading are creating body image problems. They're speeding up and increasing their rate of losing their innocence, and they're showing that Photoshop is the way that we should look. Photoshop is one of the main problems for most adolescents. Magazines and magazine ads are photoshopping so much of these models that they don't even look real anymore. In 2009, Ralph Lauren had one of their seasonal magazines come out, and one of the models, her waist was shrunk so small by Photoshop that it was smaller than the width of her face. Magazines are creating images in young girls' mind that they need to have a full hair and makeup to look pretty. Jennifer Lawrence has stated multiple times that Hollywood is trying to change her appearance and how she should look, but she isn't gonna do it because she believes she's beautiful the way she is. But in this picture, on the cover of Flair, they are showing that she changes everything. She is beautiful to begin with, and then after they change the color to her hair, they add more eyeshadow, they make her skinnier, they lift her cheeks up, and they change a lot of things about her. It's disrespectful to her, seeing as how she's stated many times that she likes the way she is. Magazines are also causing self-esteem and body image problems for these young girls. Magazines such as 17, YM, and Elle Girl have all had covers about becoming ready for the summer. Headliners such as 250 Ways to Become a Beach Goddess and Tricks to Flatten Your Belly, with all pictures of young adult women in bathing suits that aren't technically considered bathing suits. This is showing young girls that in order to be ready for the summer to have fun, that they need to be skinny and wear bathing suits that are skimpy, which makes them feel less insecure because they aren't looking like the girls in the magazines. I was talking to my cousin a couple weeks ago, and she came up to me and said, "I saw this picture of Kylie Jenner in a magazine, and I didn't want to eat so I could be like her." Magazines are showing these celebs to be the tiniest that they can be, which is telling girls that they need to be skinny in order to feel pretty. It's wrong that my cousin isn't proud of the way she looks and has self-esteem issues because of the people she sees in these magazines. According to the Post-Gazette's McKinsey study, they found that 53% of 13-year-old Americans are unhappy with their body. That's over half. That's over half of these girls don't feel comfortable with their bodies because of these magazines. A University of Central Florida analysis concluded that girls at the age of 3 to 6 years old are already worried that they're too fat. Girls that are 3 aren't even in school yet, and they already feel that they're not in the norm because of these magazines. Magazines today are also pushing girls to grow up faster, which in conclusion is making them want to lose their innocence quicker. These magazines are pushing sexual activity in these articles. In Liz Thomas' article, she writes about Joanne Bakewell, who has been going at teen magazines for the same reason. Joanne attacks these magazines because of the way she feels about how they portray these women to make these girls feel bad about themselves. Multiple magazines have headliners just like that. Cosmo Girls, Flirting Tips and Great Date Ideas is an article they wrote about how to flirt and get a date, and it also has a link to hot guys on a website. Girls don't need to be looking at hot guys on a website. Another example of magazines pushing sexual activity is J14's Kiss and Tell section, and it's where these celebs are interviewed about who they've kissed and how it was. J14 is a magazine for the age of 14, but girls as young as 8 and 7 and 8, 7, 9, 10 are all reading it. Girls this young do not need to know about how to kiss a boy. Another way this is causing girls is that magazines are dressing them up to look older and more exposed, which is giving the readers thoughts that they should do the same thing. Sheila Gibbons, who is a known communication research journalist, states a very good point. She says, magazines for teens blast girls with urges to maximize their hot looks while promoting their virginal ideal. All these magazines have an underlining theme. It's all how to get a guy. Girls this young should not be reading about how to get a guy. They should be reading about summer camp and how to make friendship bracelets and what to do on the weekends and how to make food. They should not be worried about guys and kissing and sexual activity. A study by O'Donoghue, Gold, and McKay found that in 5 mainstream magazines, 1.5% of the sexy ads contained children. Of the 38 ads that were considered sexy with the children, 85% of those children were girls. That's showing that young girls are being portrayed in a more sexual way than they used to, which is making the readers think that that's the way to dress and act, causing them to act different from their age. In conclusion, magazines are not sending the right message to these girls. For a second, imagine you had a little girl and she came up to you with a magazine and said, I can't eat because I want to look like that and boys won't like me. How would you respond? There are girls who actually think this and act this way. It's up to us to raise awareness, to stop the body image problems, the innocence loss, and the Photoshop. And we need to stop what magazines think is the face of beauty.